Guys, welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite shows of all time. And this is One Piece. And today we're going to talk about the live action season two. And guys, when I tell you that this show really caught me by surprise, look, I'm going to get into my reviews first. But if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button. If you don't, then slash that dislike button. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, One Piece season two, and there's going to be some spoilers up ahead. One Piece season two kicks off with the Lodgetown arc, which gets us introduced to a character that is introduced to Dressrosa. I don't know if I should spoil that, but he'll be important later. He has green hair. I don't want to say his name for people who haven't seen One Piece yet or read it, but of course we get introduced to Smoker, my man, Monkey D. Dragon, and of course early in the episode we get introduced to Nico Robin, which he'll definitely play a huge role in season three. So then we go to episode two. We get introduced to Labu, the giant whale, and yet another character that will be important in a Thriller Bark arc. That might be season five or seven. I don't know. It depends on their schedule. But then afterwards, we go to the giant island. We get introduced to Dory and Brogy. We also get introduced to Mr. Three, and of course, the big bad himself, played by Joe Magliano. I don't know if I said his name right, but we get introduced to Crocodile, one of my favorite villains of all time in fiction. I can't wait to see what they do with him. As for the last few episodes, we get into the Drum Island arc. King Wapol, and I don't know, his design just looks kind of strange, but I like the whole cartoony look they went with. Rather than a more edgy Dragon Ball Evolution, but they try to make things look more realistic. But I don't know, I kind of like that cartoon looking style that they got going on. It looks more faithful to the anime and the manga that Ichiro Oda had wrote. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the episodes. As for the cast, I want you guys to let me know below who really had the best performance. Like who portrayed the character the best in the show. Because personally, for this season, I got to give it to Luffy. I don't know if I'm gonna say his name right, but Inaki Godoy. I don't know if I pronounced that right. He's really knocking it out the park with his portrayal of Monkey D. Luffy. Now, I know he has a lot of controversy, with the way he's portraying the character. But honestly, I think he's doing a great job. As for Zoro, I, honestly, I think season two got the characters down pat. Like for instance, I think they did Sanji well. He's not sipping too much. As for Usopp, they show how good he is at sniping. Nami, they show how useful she is. As for Chopper, honestly, I think they did him pretty good. It's not Sonic the Hedgehog 1 levels of bad, even though that trailer has a special place in my heart. But besides that, when it comes to Chopper, they went for a more Detective Pikachu look. They had to make him cute because they didn't want to scare the children away. But besides that, just let me know below which actor do you think really took the show by storm? Personally, I think it was Luffy, and I can't wait to see what they do with Crocodile. But without further ado, we're gonna go on to my final thoughts. Do I recommend? Hell yeah, I recommend. Because this show right here, look, this I don't even know how to even say it. But for some reason, One Piece, the live action, Like the writers understand how to write good characters and make a good story, and Oda should be proud of them. But for my final thoughts, what I'd like to see in season three, since that for people who haven't read or watched the anime of One Piece, I've seen over 1,000 episodes. God help me. But for the people that haven't seen Alabasta, that's what season three is going to be about. We're going to see Crocodile and Joe Magliano's performance. Also, we're going to introduce to another character, Luffy's older brother. I'm not going to say his name because I know there's a lot of Netflix watchers that haven't seen One Piece. But for my final thoughts, is the show a pass or is it a slash? That's swing for trash. And you know this show's a pass. As my final rating on the show for season two, look, guys, I'm going to have to give it a 4.9 out of 5. I don't really care about number ratings, but when I tell you that you have to see this show, you have to see it. From season one to season two, and even the podcast, One Piece live action is better than Avatar: The Last Airbender live action, which I'll do my review on that too. But this show, all the characters are faithful. As for the casting and all that, I know people get kind of upset, when we see, you know, different ethnicities and all that playing characters. But honestly, I think that they did a pretty good job at it, with the casting of Vivi and all that. Honestly, I think they did their characters justice. And besides that, with the set design, it's a masterpiece. I know I'm glazing the show too much, but guys, you have to watch it. But with that being said, season two is definitely a pass. You have to watch it. But let me know below what you guys think in the comments. And without further ado, this is the voice of the voiceless signing out.